Hi, now I am back with part 2, the mini album for the number 1, which is, remember we labeled them, so I'm just going to push that aside. I'm going to take it out and take that out there. So now in your templates you will find what I have called the master page, which is basically you're going to use this for all your flaps, side flaps and side flaps. Okay, so you can use this to mark on your design paper and then cut it out. And from the bits and pieces that were left over, I have cut out one master page, and then again from the bits and pieces just take out one of these, because that is going to do. Oh, let me just show you quickly what we're going to do here. So basically we are going to build this page, which is very simple, with the pocket, and you know, we've got the whatchamacallit in there, and the papers I'm going to use for that are going to be a mixture, actually, basically. Because you see, we've got all these gorgeous leftovers, and some of them, you know, I want to use. That's why I say I don't really trace everything onto one page, because you know, you've got to mix and match. So I'm just pulling them out quickly, and then we shall decide, because the cover is this gorgeous paper. And like I say, we're just going to mix and match. I don't think I'm going to use these bright ones there. Let me have a look. Yeah, let's do that that way. And let's bring in this lot. Okay. So, and we will do that as well. All these roly-polies and bead things will be a completely separate video, which I will provide you the link for that. It'll just be, you know, one of my ephemera making videos. So I have cut this out, my master page. Okay, now I am going to score it 1/2 inch, like so, as per usual. Wrong way. Actually, it doesn't really matter which way the cardstock is, because we are going to cover this with paper. So let's do like so. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm not going to put the paper. I'm going to just do the bones. I think it'll be easier like that, and then we can go back and put the paper on. Or do I even need to do that with you? Put the different papers? I don't know. I'm of two minds. Okay, so this is book 1. We are going to take this. Yep. Again, make sure if there's writing and whatever, that it is facing the right way. Let's quickly do that. So you do your flaps first, okay? Glue it down, or use tape if you want. Like I say, I like to use glue because you know you can move it around, and it's easier actually to take off, provided it hasn't dried if you've made a mistake. So let's do that and stick that on there. Let's just make sure. I always do this to make sure that it's folding nicely. Okay, because you don't want it right against there. Then you're going to take your little piece, and we know that this is 4 3/4, right? That the size of it is 4 3/4. So I'm just going to cut that and of course just dress it And I am going to do one side. As I did on there, I'm going to use the biggest one, the 10mm one. Yes, yeah. To round 2 of the corners. This is my first time. I'm sure you know that if you've been watching my videos that I'm doing a tutorial like this. So I'm trying to, I guess in a way I'm still figuring out the best way to do it. So let's see. We are going to score it at 1 inch to make the flap. Fold that in. Yeah, what do you say? I do the whole thing and then we can come back and put the papers on. That also depends. Let's just check. Yes, perfect. I don't always, in the interest of saving paper, I am not always going to back everything with cardstock. You don't need to. It depends on the type of album you're making as well. So let's just put that on the edge there. I'm just going to check that it's right here. And it should be. Yes. There we go. You know what I haven't done? The inner corner there. Not corner, fold. And I didn't do it on here either, so let's just quickly do that. So there already is your fold. Now, I'm actually going to shave off a little bit there. So let me just show you what I'm doing, because you can see what happens. I wanted to show you guys this. Okay, it doesn't quite close, so whenever you do a flap like that, you need to shave off about 1/8 of an inch again. There we go, because now it's going to close nicely. Okay, so use your master page and then shave off about, I haven't done it very straight, but it doesn't matter. Shave off about 1/8 or even less than 1/8. It's just enough so that you don't have trouble closing the flap. There we go. Okay, now we can select the paper to go on here, because the pocket is the last thing to go on. So I'm going to use this paper. It's got the butterflies. And this one, I'm going to use this one for the background. Anyway, I have, as you can see, I've added the papers on here. But before we go any further, I just want to clarify something about the cardstock and using it. If you are using double-sided paper like this one, as you can see, I didn't put cardstock backing on it. There's no need, especially in this little album, because these pages are sturdy, and once the photographs are on, it makes it even sturdier. Now the paper I am using for this one is only one-sided, as you can see. So now I am using the cardstock, but because it's all cream and this is white, okay, so I will be backing most everything with cardstock. But like I said, if you're using double-sided, you don't need so much cardstock. Obviously you need it for your box holder and your magazine racks and the mini album covers, but you don't need it so much with double-sided. So anyway, this is a piece of paper that I've got left. So all I'm going to do, you know me and my measurements. My dog is barking at the technicians. I'm just going to mark like so, and then I think I want it, if we want to be precise, like on this one, then the width or the height of that is 3 inches. So you're going to add another ½ an inch for the flap, okay? And of course here it is, we know what it is, it's 3 3/4, and then you're still going to add ½ an inch on either side for the flap. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. Now this pattern that I got, I simply got it using this crocodile. If you don't have the crocodile, then the pockets are in there with the pattern on it. And using the photo angle side, this is all I did. Just flatten it a little bit and you'll get that nice. Of course you can also just do the same thing and do a little nip in it if you don't have this. Okay, so you would, let me just show you, you would do this and then just a little nip, just to give a little bit of extra oomph to your pocket. See that? Don't make it too deep. So since I used a crocodile, I'm just going to flatten it slightly, stick it in, and there I've got my little fabulous pocket. And then of course comes the scoring. So I cut this, as you can see here, 3.5, score, ½ an inch, and the same thing on either side. This looks too big to me. Let's have a look. Let's just put that in. So that's how I did my pocket there. You know, from one of the pieces of paper hanging around to use up all the scraps. And oopsie, what are you doing there? Let's just, yeah, perfect. So of course now we need to cut out this bit here. You can do it this way, and then you can also, and then just put a little bit, again, a slant in there. Just a little one, you don't need a huge big one. And well, this is how I prefer to cut it, so I'm going to cut the other one, because I know some ladies kind of cut their, I don't like that so much. So you cut that out to make the pocket a little bit of a slant. And we need to do our distressing. Like so. And let's put the pocket together like so. You can see on this one I didn't do anything to the pocket because it had pretties on it already, and although this is very pretty, I will probably come back and embellish it. And I just want to make sure everything is down there. And then we are going to take these little Velcro dots. This is a small one. I don't even know the size, but it's a little one. There is no size, oops, on here. And this is what we are going to use to hold it down. So I normally take them apart. I don't have any nails now. I took all my false nails off. And now I can't. Yeah. Oh my goodness, wait, I need a tool for that. Let me use the awl. There we go. Oh my gosh, it's really hard without nails. Okay, we will get there. Yes, so, more or less in the middle of there. That'll do. Here we go, let's press that down. I suppose I better use my awl. Take it off, put it back on lightly, don't press it in too hard, and then fold it over. I just used one. If you want to use two, you can, but I think one is enough. So now you have your little closure here, and we will obviously put something in there. Now, the next page, I have cut most of the stuff out already. So let's put that. Oh, where's my little? Let's do this quickly. I've just got some sweet little lace, cream lace, because this is all about creams. Just a very simple. Yeah, I'm really missing my nails. Here we go. And that can just go on there. So let's put that away. I'm not going to need that. Let's get you out the way, put you back. Now we come to the center page, pages of this book. Hang on, that's the very last page. This is a chap. Right. Now, let me just take everything apart. So the first thing you are going to do, you're going to cut this out. You can see I've distressed it, but I haven't cut it yet. Now the measurements for this, because this is not in the, there's no template for this, is 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, and then you are going to do a 1/2 inch scoring all the way around. Well, not all the way around, only on 3 sides. Then you're going to cut another page, or out of cardstock or your double-sided paper if you have that. And the measurements for this are 4 1/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, and the usual 1/2 inch score line there. And then what you're going to do, you're going to cut off this corner, these corners. Okay, like so. And of course you're going to distress everything. So this one will go, you will see why in a moment. Okay, so this is the top and the bottom, and you want this hanging out. Same thing as this one. Then you're going to turn it around, and you are going to glue those two sides together, and you will see why in a moment. So this should fit quite nicely on here. I'm going to put glue. I'll do it one side. This is also how I like to do my pages. Sometimes for this I do use tape as well. So make sure your two flaps on the same side. Okay, and let's put the top one there, lining up your flaps here. You see that? That should be fine. Let's make sure. Yes, everything is good there. Yeah. Now so you got those measurements, right? And then I'm just going to glue this one. all make sense in a moment. To the bottom. Yes. Flaps are nicely lined up. Yeah, that's good. And before, I suppose I'm not going to even cut that. Now, this page, so make sure it's well. So then you want your flaps, and we are going to glue this right here. And you need to measure it because I am going to have to cut off a little bit, which you have to do as well. So it's about 2/8 I would think that you need to cut off just so it lines up with your spine. So I'm simply going to take this to my cutter. Hang on, I'm just going to mark it again on the other side so I can lay it flat on the cutter. And I'm going to take that. So I just found it easier to do it this way. Didn't cut that very straight. That's a problem with these Caterpillar Pros, you know, because it doesn't have an arm to hold it down. It can be very difficult. Yes, it's perfect. To cut your paper straight. And I mean, I do love this Caterpillar Pro because it cuts through chipboard as well, and you know, yeah, that's fine. So again, if you want, you use your tape, and now you're going to glue this down. If you want to be precise, you can trim a little bit off each side. But I just find every time I do it, it's a little bit different. Yeah. So this is how I do it. So let's put that down. Yeah, everything is fine. Folds in fine. And you see, not very straight, but it's okay. And then just make sure it's stuck well, and so you have your center pocket. And now it's good to try and let it dry for a few minutes, okay? Because I'm going to show you what we need to do as well on this. Let's hope it doesn't lift here. You need to work it so that the page goes over easily. See, like that? And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side to make it flexible. Okay. Let's just do that. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you'll find it just doesn't open nicely. So be sure not to skip this step. Okay, so now we have like so, and it's nice and flat. And just check what I'm doing here. Yeah. Now this is it here. So now I have already pre-cut these. So this page you are going to cut 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. And of course you've got your 1/4 inch spine. Okay. What? I put the wrong measurements on there. Sorry guys. It's 5 1/4, not 4 1/4. Where's my rubber? Sorry guys, that's my husband's voice in the background. So 5 1/4 and 3 3/4. Let me double check that. Yes. Yes, okay. So you'll cut one flap like that, or one page, whatever. And then the next one, I'm going to double check the measurements. Yeah. So this page you're going to cut 4 1/4 by 4 3/4. Okay. And of course your 1/2 inch score mark and distress it. Now then this page, let's turn it over. We are going to glue it onto the top of it. Okay, so this flap goes on top. Where's my cloth? Let's put it on there nicely. And this one I don't use whatchamacallit, I was going to say batteries, magnets. There's really no need. You know, because it is enclosed in the little magazine rack. Okay, so you have like so. And then you're going to take this one with the flap. Take the whole lot. And put it on the top. Like so. Again, that's a bit cockeye there. Oops, I'm going to bring it, yeah. Again, like I say, I just like to check. Make everything is nice and straight. And we can bring that in slightly. Yeah. That's perfectly fine. And once again, like so. So we have like so, and then it opens up at the top. Then you have your pocket here. And you're going to turn the page over. See, you need to shape it a little bit. Just work it so it opens nicely, just gently. Yeah, that should be fine. And on this side, very simple, we have 2 flaps. And for this now, you use your master page to cut it. And an easy way is my master page. It's right here. What I do is say this is your piece of cardstock. Doesn't matter which way you do it. This is how I do it. Just so make it easy. I mark so, and I mark so, and then I go ahead and cut it, rather than trace the whole thing out. But of course, if you want to trace it, then that's what you must do. So let's just get this out the way. So I want this one and this one, they are going to go like so. If you want to check that everything is going to be absolutely kosher, there we go. So now again, let's put this, let's glue it down or tape it down, whatever blows your hair back. It should be fine. This is quite a pretty simple album. this one goes on the other side. To form the other page. Now you can see these are slightly smaller, and that should close perfectly fine. Just pull that back a little bit there. Yep. Does it close nicely? Yes, it does. And we can put that down. So there you have now your center pages. See that? And for closure, I use my little pins to give that beautiful shabby chic look. Now I'm going to go on to do the very last page. Again, I have cut everything out. So, and this is, let me show you the last page here. So those two center pages work out like that, with your little pocket there. And then these ones open up like that. And then we come to the last page, and the closure is a journaling card. These are in the kit. Okay, so you don't need to go and measure. And then it just opens like so. And I just put these in here because, you know why? I just got my, I just bought this stamp. And I had to use it. So just to show you what the last page looks like. And you will find these top two pages, and you don't have to measure, in your kit. So it's book one, okay, back page, the left flap and the right flap, and then the little corners are on another page. Okay, so I've cut everything out. Here we go. Now it's very important. So these flaps, I've cut them out and I have scored twice, okay, to give it a bit of room for the photograph. So just put it on your score board and you score at 1/2 inch, and then you score the next one up another 1/8 of an inch up. Okay, just like I said, to give it leeway for when you put the photographs in. So now the inner page is once again the master page, which I've cut out, I've scored, and I've distressed it. I'm just going to double check, because you know I am such a scatterbrain. Yep, that's perfectly fine. So that's upside down, it doesn't matter, so I'm going to stick this on here. Like I say, I don't know why I did it, but I just did it with a little, coming in a little bit. If you want it to be right to the edge, you can also cut it to the edge. So I have already, as you can see, and I'll go through it again, put the papers on. So, because I got this wrong. So the first two pages, this is on the last book, you're going to put down is these two pages with the fold or with the corners cut. Okay, and then you're going to put this one on top, and then the papers. And then when it comes to these, you do have them in your kit. You're going to make a very, very thin line of glue. It's already a little bit too thick, so you really want just a very thin line there. Oops. Okay, and that's all you need to glue your little corners down. Okay, and then you can either make a card, or most packs, as you know, come with a card, and then all you do is slot it in for the closure. So far, just to show you what I've done, okay, our little pocket here, I've just put in a card from the collection, and of course all this is for photographs, and that's our little one, so that opens that way, it opens like so, And of course in here you've got your pocket with your card, photo mat. And that's the cuttings for that, 4.5 by 3 5/8 to fit inside. And of course I used my corner chomper, and I used the bigger one, the 10mm one for that. And then this page opens like so and like so. You can see I cut it a little bit short there, but what I'm going to do now, I won't do it now, I'll do it some other time, because you know this happens. I'm just going to put in a little pocket here, so that goes like so. And then of course we have this one which opens like that and like that. So there's actually a lot of room for photographs. So put your card in, your closure in that way first. And then, before I put it away, I am going to use my crocodile to punch the eyelet in. So I'm going to move it to 3/16, right? And because this already has a center page, I'm going to do it just to the side of it. And I'm just going to, I just eyeball it. And I do it quite close to the top. Hang on. I'll get it right just now. Just don't want to stick my head in the camera, so I'm struggling a little bit to see. So we'll just make do. Right, there we go. Then I'm going to take my eyelet and the flared side down, the side with that's going to open goes down. I'm going to move this to here. Okay, just in case you have one of these, I've got my, can you see that? I have this one ready, and the bottom one, as you can see, has got the bump up. So what I'm going to do, because obviously this is going to go on the outside, so I'm going to put this, and I've chosen brown, so that's right in the corner. I normally stand up for this. I hope this is going to work. Yes. And let's see. And that should do it. And there is my eyelet, ready for me to put my little, one of my roly-polies in, or whatever it is I'm going to use. So I'm just going to put this guy on top of here, put it in my box. Obviously we still have to do the front, and that is the tutorial for part or book 1, mini album, and we are going to do mini album 2. See you soon.